Hi, everybody. Leslie here, and Zazoo, my new sweater. Didn't realize I had jeans to match with sparkles on the butt. Sparkles. Okay. Since I flashed you my butt, now we can start. Welcome to the first Zazoo Plazz report of 2025. Ah, it is, right? So, Monday, January 6th. I was going to do it yesterday, but it didn't work out. So I said, I'll do it today. It's perfect. Because today would have been my mom's birthday. Birthday's January 6th. And so she would have been, what I realized, 87. Because my dad's a year older. His birthday's in April. But what happened was that she was born in Fall River. When she came to Connecticut with her parents, she was like 5 years old, I think, like 1943 or so. And they didn't have room in the kindergarten class. So they put her in with the first graders. So she was only a year, 2 years or a year? No, so she was 2 years behind my aunt, her older sister, who was actually born in 35. So they would have been 3 years apart in school, but she got moved up. So, anyway, so she and my dad ended up being in the same class. Yeah, long story short. So they met in high school. So that was, their little story back in the 50s. So she would have been class of 56 from high school. She ended up in class of 55. It's kind of like a Back to the Future type of thing. That's how they were, like Marty McFly's parents. So anyway, oh yeah. So today the word, it's the Epiphany, also called Three Kings Day. Dia de los Tres Reyes, or Three Kings. It's also some of the Latino cultures celebrate Three Kings Day. It's kind of like a second Christmas. So I went out shopping yesterday, and got myself some things for my second Christmas. And I still have my little tree up. I just tucked under the little. See, I get my. Oh, I can't even. I wonder if you could see it. Can you see my tree over there? Can you see the tree? Yeah. I kept the little skirt on there, but I tucked under the Christmas part, so it's just the little winter gnomes, and took some of the ornaments off, but it's kind of cozy. Now I like to keep it up, through at least the first part of January, because that way I don't have to. See, the thing with my mother's birthday always falling on January 6th. I posted about her a little bit on my Facebook page. But, it used to be like the time we'd take the tree down, there'd be, like mess everywhere. All the presents were open and unwrapped and put away. And there was nothing to shop for, nothing in the stores, So I'd always, and there was snow, and it was cold, so you couldn't go outside. So she'd always say, oh, I'm born in the worst possible time. She was born in the middle of a snowstorm at home or something. Just so so every year I would have to kind of cheer her up, and so I would make her, nice cards for her birthday, or I'd get her gifts. At the same time I got her Christmas presents, I would get her something nice for her birthday. I learned this. I didn't do it right from the beginning. After a few years of wandering around after Christmas, looking for an emergency gift from my mom and having to, scrape the bottom of the barrel, because they wouldn't put out the fresh stuff until week after New Year's, which was coinciding with her birthday all the time. So anyway, so I'd go out of my way to kind of, get her a cake and make a special effort to, when the boys were little, we'd celebrate her birthday. We'd go out to eat or something, and we'd make it a nice event, and have cake and coffee at our house, and So we tried to make it a nice day for her, and it was, and I could see um, why she would feel that way, but I don't know. I like winter, so I don't. It doesn't bother me. I love it getting dark. I love the dark. I love the cold. I love everything. I'm a November baby. I love even the colors, the winter colors, the icy blues, and I look good in those colors. She looked good in those colors, but she had darker hair than mine. She looked better in, like she dyed her hair red. I could never have red hair. I'm a brunette kind of, but anyway, I digress. So, like I said, I went out, and for her birthday, I got myself some new socks. They kind of match the sweater, don't they? Sort of. Okay. And then I stumbled upon. I went to Java. They had these. Look at these cool gloves, just like Zazzy has the. She's got those velvet gloves. The fancy. Oh my gosh, look at that. And these kind of go with they go with the sweater. It's a whole look. Anyway, I can throw out my old crappy gloves that are like 10 years old. And then I got this little notebook a few years ago. It says, "You are made of stars. You and your stars." So anyway, so I decided instead of having all these little notes that I write, I have these epiphanies, right? And it's the day of the epiphany. I have all these damn ideas that come out, and usually when I'm working out or after I work out, between when I get up, after I have my tea and I work out, I'm lying there and all these ideas come. So I run over there, like I've got all these crazy ideas, like big ideas, big ideas, and little stupid ideas, and I don't know if they're stupid because I haven't had a chance to implement them yet. But I thought maybe I could transfer some of these to my little dream book here. See, it's got all like little stars in it. And so I thought this would be a good thing to show today, because the Magi, right, the three wise men. That's the gospel today from Matthew. Yeah, they saw the star in. They came from the east. They were astrologers, people. Okay, and you know, this is like the age of Aquarius, Pluto and Aquarius. This is very Aquarian. And my mom was an astrologer, right? And she was born on the 6th. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to get some little notes here. A friend of mine she gives me gifts every year. Celebrating you. It kind of matches the sweater. I didn't even realize it, but I like this. And she gave me this. The box matches the sweater. And it's just like little notes that you can, they're blank, but it says, you deserve every good thing. Anyway, so I guess you could put these in your purse or whatever. And if you're out and somebody looks like they could use, somebody does something nice for you, or somebody checkout person, or, person who makes your coffee or whatever, you can give them one of these and just put, thank you for your whatever you did. Oh, have a nice day or whatever. Kind of nice little thing instead of, complaining because somebody, put yourself in the other person's shoes and thank them. Be grateful. Think of a thing, to be grateful for every day. Or go out and, that was my mom's thing. She'd go anywhere. She'd go for coffee with she had friends. She used to meet for pizza and coffee, and with or without my dad. She had her own life. And every freaking where she went, when I was a kid growing up, there'd always be some, lady, or usually ladies, because they were the ones who were out shopping during the day. But sometimes men, but, or later, they'd meet couples. Like when my dad retired, they'd go out and they had their friends. Old retired guys, they'd be over there talking. guy thing, and the ladies would be talking. But yeah, usually it would be a lady or somebody's, didn't matter. It's not like she just targeted women, but, you know, people would be attracted to my mom and they'd come and they'd say, oh, you're so, she was very classy, very poised, right? Anybody who knew my mom. And she was just that way. She had good clothes sense and she looked good in clothes. So they'd come and they'd say, gee, can you help me? I got to pick out something and I don't know, what to buy. And it would start out that way. And she'd say, well, with your coloring, they both are nice, but, this brings out your eyes or whatever. She'd do something. And the lady would be so grateful. Then she'd start telling my mother all these, and and I'd be over there, you know, I'd be under the clothes rack. When I was really little, I would get so damn bored. So I'd go and do my own thing. Sometimes if it was a store that had other departments, I'd go read books or go look at records or, when I was really little, or just toys. She'd have to go look for me, but she'd always find me. But, it was that my mother was doing her thing. And I knew she was doing her thing, so I could just do my thing. She always found me. But, I knew that she was about her business. And then my dad is just driving crazy because, he'd have to go out in the car and wait because he's really impatient. But, yeah, so she'd pick up strays, and then the lady would be writing down her number, It's, oh, Pauline, let's get together, and they would, and so she'd have a new friend. And then maybe she'd get something and we'd leave. But she'd say, oh, that was the reason I had to go there to that shop because I had to meet, Phyllis or, Lucille or, whoever. And Patty or, she had so many friends. So many friends, And she never went online or anything. She did her astrological charts on the computer. But she didn't get even right till the end when she died. I couldn't get her to read the astrology stuff online or anything like that. She was a purist. She did not want to taint her knowledge with that stuff that I was into. So I go into that a lot in the book because I get that, So I realize, I do that. My dad says, you take after your mother because I go places and people start talking to me. They just open up. But then I go online, and I do the same thing online on social media that my mom used to do. She'd go out every day. I mean, I spent my childhood rattling around in the Datsun while she picked up my grandfather, my grandparents, took them everywhere. She did everything for everybody, and I didn't realize it properly till I grew up, till I became a mom and a wife, and I started doing everything for everybody. I realized then why she used to, after dinner, go in her bedroom, lock the damn door, and dive into her astrology books because that was her time. That's like me doing my writing, That was her don't bother me time. Get the hell out of my face. No. And I'm kind of like that most of the time. But she was like that at night, And then she'd come out, she'd watch TV with my dad and have a snack and go to bed. But she'd take an hour or two, 7 to 9 o'clock. And that was her time. So, um, I'm feeling her energy today, my mother. And what happened was the year it was 82, the year I was 16, 16. We get a call, and my grandmother passed away on my mother's birthday on January 6th. She had been in a nursing home, and we hadn't gone to see her. I hadn't been to see her because it was just getting bad, and my mother's, she wouldn't let me, I didn't want to go the last couple of times. So then, she died. So then it was, my mother died on my birthday, she would say. My mother died on my birthday. Mime died on my birthday. So this kind of became an interesting conundrum. So anyway, I only had 15 minutes. I can't go into all of that today, but I'm going to just leave it right there. Smudge. Okay. My smudge. Wait, I gotta smudge. Clear the air. The rest of my report. Okay. Better. All right. Anyway. Okay. Book of Isaiah. Oh yeah, so I talked about that. Okay, good. Yeah, so the key word today is heaven. Because, my friend gave me that book. She said, she texted me, happy birthday to your mom in heaven. I'm reading that. And her mom's birthday she also passed. Her mom's birthday was the day before mine. So they used to go, her mom used to pick up my mom and they go drive like a bat out of hell somewhere, and meet for breakfast or something. We get their joint birthdays. Capricorns, all Capricorns. I got so many Capricorns around me. I have Capricorn in the 4th house. So anyway, and Aquarius, but that's later. Anyway, Book of Isaiah. Rise up, Jerusalem, the light has come. Talks about darkness and clouds covering the people. But Jerusalem radiant and shining as guiding others. So Isaiah predicted the camels and the kings would come bearing the gifts and everything, getting the riches of the sea. And I'm thinking, that's kind of like Neptune in the last degrees of Pisces right now. The astrological energy now it's tied in to these readings. I don't know if anyone else has noticed it, but that's kind of my thing. And I say, wow, that sounds, the riches. That's the karma. How you do something good, and you get, that's the flavors. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn's the lord of karma. So this is a time. If you're thinking dark thoughts, you've got clouds over you. Like in the cartoons, you see the cloud, like Eeyore. But if if you have done your work, if you're receiving this light, so there's that. Then Psalms, Lord, every nation on earth will adore you. Yeah, talks about justice and judgment. The king is the father, and justice on the son, and helping the poor and the lowly when they cry out. This whole flavor of kings, right? It's all kind of in the Bible, in the old section of the Bible. So that's why it's included here, because it's like, see, I told you so. I predicted that. So this whole thing, kings, they hand down judgment, right? You go see the king, you do something right. The king tells you, you got to do this, you got to do that. Come here, go there. So if you, and if it's a just king, then you get rewarded, right? If it's a crooked king, then it's that's a whole other. That's in the gospel. But then we have Paul to the Ephesians. Pauline. My mother was Pauline. Talking about how he's the mysteries have been revealed to him. He's the steward of the grace, and the Holy Spirit came to the apostles with the word and prophets. that it's not, the Gentiles were co-heirs. In other words, all the nations of the earth, you know, not just the people of, the tribes, the original tribes of Israel. It's everybody, right? So we're all co-heirs. So there's that. And so this all ties together. Don't worry. It'll all come together. Squeaking. God, neighbors squeaking up there. Squeaking. It's very annoying. Stop squeaking. Anyway, yeah, Book of Matthew. Matthew. So it talks about, so Jesus has been born, right? He's a baby. King Herod. Okay, we know about King Herod. He's the guy he wanted to see, he called the Magi over. He said, come here. And he was feeling threatened because he's like, oh, this is going to be a threat to me. This baby is going to be a king. So he's automatic, caught up in his ego and stuff. So he tells the Magi, oh yeah, bring the baby by. I want to show my, bow down and everything. But he had ulterior motives, right? So they go, they bring their gifts. They see Jesus. They bow down. They see Mary, Jesus' mother, gave the baby the gold myrrh and the frankincense. And I used to think like Frankenstein, but whatever. The valuable gifts. And then they have a dream where they are, oh, go home the other way. Herod wants to hurt the baby, wants to hurt Jesus. So they did that. They went, So, we hear about dreams. Dreams are Neptunian, right? So there's that going on. So, that all weighed in, factored into the song of the week, which, wasn't much of a stretch with the star and everything. I said, shine, shine, collective soul. Awesome. You know that guitar riff. Okay. You know the one. It's Ed Roland. And he wrote the song in his parents' living room, and like with his brother there. His brother Dean is in the band. He was 10 years younger. Yeah, and that's the way these songs get written, like that. They come through, most of the good songs and a lot of the good, ideas for books and stories and things. They come down fast on the express elevator, and if you grab it, it's yours, right? So those are gifts, right? And you've got to grab it and hold on to it, put it in your star notebook. Anyway, yeah, so Shine released, and this is funny, March 19th, 1993. That's my grandmother's birthday. She was born March 19th. And my former spouse, his birthday was that day. So that's the last day of Pisces, the last degrees of Pisces. Alternative rock, although people wanted to put them in grunge because it was grunge time. 1993 was the height of grunge. I'm taking a shot. Okay, so yeah, it was the lead single from their album Hints, Allegations, and Things Left Unsaid. Yeah, so it was the number one rock song of 94, and it was the Billboard Top Tracks. Oh, it won the Billboard Top Track Award for that year. All right. Yeah. So, yeah, VHS voted Shine VHS. VH1 voted Shine number 2 out of the 100 greatest songs of the 80s, rock songs of the 90s. Number 1 on the Billboard alternative rock eight weeks. So somebody was accusing them of being, or saying that they were a Christian band. And he said, well, because they used the word heaven in the song. And Ed Roland said, no, well, so did Led Zeppelin, right? Stairway to Heaven. But, yeah, and his father was a Southern Baptist minister. So there's that. But he said that one doctrine couldn't unite the whole band. So their collective soul, right? So this is interesting because that kind of relates to the collective, collective soul is like the sort of like the monad, that each one of us, our souls are part of a small group of souls, which is in turn part of a larger group of souls, and we're all connected. So this is kind of part of what this whole concept is, and so maybe that heaven is going back to your soul group where you came from, source connect, all that is connected to the source of all, right? So it's kind of, I think that's sort of the vibe. So Dean Rowland called the song basically a prayer. It's very uplifting during a time of, grunge was dark. It was pretty dark. And it was kind of a dark time for us Gen Xers. The 90s were rough. They were crazy, turbulent, anything but stable. You had this feeling that everything was kind of getting, washed away, getting, I don't know, changing faster than we could, hold on to anything. And so we're not meant to hold on to things. So in the video, all right, there's a bunch of kids, which had to be Gen Xers because, they were about our age. We were at the time, 20s. I was 27, going on 28. So yeah, I was 27. This video came out. Most of us, were at least in our, from probably 27, 28 down to, 13, 14 at the time. So there's all these kids and they're going across the railroad tracks and it's this barren sort of rural, landscape. And they're bringing all these things, all this junk, over. And it kind of reminded me of the Magi crossing the desert, with all this stuff. Just, this caravans coming, and bringing all these things. The things of the earth, right? The gifts. And each gift had a meaning, So if one kid is bringing a gift, a thing that in the video that meant something, whatever they chose to, bring. So it's kind of, yeah. And following the North Star is that's akin to going to our North Node, right? The North Node, we all have that. Mine's in Gemini, but your North Node is like I guess it's the dragon's head, and the South Node is the tail, or something like that. Don't quote me on that. But it's where we're headed. We're your highest point. So you look at the heart, the house, and the sign, and the degree, and where your North Node is, and that tells you a lot. Also, you're part of fortune. Both of mine are in Gemini. So in my ninth house, which is the house of philosophy and publishing, and so that's how I know I'm on track. But everybody's got a different one. Even if your North Node is in Gemini, it's it's in a different house, different degree, whatever. So I gotta wind up now. I'm so hungry. I'm gonna go have my little snack, my paleo hot chocolate rice cake. But until next week, wishing you many gifts of the season, and I will see you same place, different time. Zazoo Plazz out. Take care.